Are we in? Are we on? We know. We always know that I've got to check this 4 or 5 times before I begin. So apologies. Are we in? Are we on our way over? Whoa, easy. I think I'm on. Are we in, boys? Yes, we're in. We're on. We're over. Yes, what's going to be funny? Easy. Diddly diddly biddly biddly bar. Yes, yes, you're righteous one munching on Pringles. That's what we like to hear. You can't beat a Pringle. Although, do you know that Pringles got in trouble for saying that they were a potato-based snack? Now, I know this for a fact. Well, I don't know it for a fact, actually. I don't know anything factually. But I do know that that is apparently true. So, Pringles got done for saying that there was a potato-based snack, and I'm not going to Google it now because it's not why everybody's here, but they had to rephrase it or whatever and say that they're a flour-based snack or whatever they are. So, but that's not why we're here. You know why we're here. Quick shit, well, long shit vid, quick shit live. Yes, Gavin James, they got done because there's no potato in there. So, and I only know that through my brother. And I would like to say that my brother's no reason to lie to me, but that's the type of lie he would have told me when I was a youngster, and it would be, well, just not true. And then I'd have grown up with that as a fact, and then it comes back to bite me. But Gavin James is backing me up, unless my brother has a secondary account called Gavin James. He's saying it's 1,000% true and have taken it off their packaging. I knew it. It's interesting that though, because you know they do pass it off as a crisp, but I don't really care whether it's a crisp or not. You know, I'm not suggesting that that's a healthy thing to be eating. As Ming says though, no potato, no party. Mike, evening buddy, what's good, brother? Good win that. Should we get the Badger in and on and over? Big brothers, mate, you got to watch them. I've got 2, and you do have to watch them. They're if they weren't giving me a beat down, they were feeding me lies. I'm not sure where you're going with that one, righteous one, so I'm gonna leave that on. Thank you very much, Fergal, Kelly rather. Appreciate you. Once you pop, you can't stop. Do you remember? Hey Roberto, passes the Pringles. That were a Pringles advert, wasn't it, for when they used to spend a fortune on getting all footballers on, and it was Steven Gerrard and there were Roberto Carlos. No, I don't know where they were actually. They weren't in an airport. That was Nike video, wasn't it? That's not why we're here, but I do want to get that. I want to know where they were. They might have been in a stadium, so I don't know. But anyway, Steven Gerrard opens up and goes, "Hey Roberto, passes the Pringles." And there's 2 things wrong with that accent. One, I can't really do any accents, never mind a Liverpudlian one. And number 2, he doesn't sound like a middle-aged woman or like an elderly woman, but I did my best, and that's all you can do. But that's not why we're here, so quick shit live. You know what time it is. Get that Badger in and on and over here. He's on a bit of a skew with angle. Had to get back to get his greatness in. The Badger came into a bit of stick other day because I apparently waffled on for too long. I went in for... I just did 2 minutes with the Badger, speaking about all things, whatever I talk about, all the nonsense that comes flying in. And somebody said, "What's with this Badger?" It's like, well, the Badger stays. The Badger will never leave. I sometimes, and I'm not even joking, and we will talk about Leeds in a minute, I do assure you, but I sometimes actually worry about my Badger because I worry that he's not going to be here forever, because I've had him now for, I would say, about... be getting on for about 8 years. Badger. And he will eventually... he took one tumble, because I look after him like there's no tomorrow. He took one tumble years ago, and there is a slight... and it wasn't my fault. I had somebody in studio, and they pushed it over, and I went into the thing, and he were like grabbing it to like do his verse into it, and he were like grabbing it. I'm like, why have you got hold of it? You don't hold it. It holds itself. It's suspended itself. Don't touch it. So we had a bit of an argument, and then I never let him use it again, because I do have like a plan B, but it's nowhere near as good sound quality. But that's not why we're here. But I just thought it was worth a bit of a backlog of the Badger. Popper, Budweiser, they've warmed up a bit, because obviously I've been on Joe's and I don't want to be disrespectful on Joe's and start boozing. So they have warmed up, so the twist cap is no longer painful. I've worked out that it only hurts when it's freezing, and when you go for the twist, that's when it really hurts. So I am here, mate. Just checking impact done. Badger is godly, says Alfred Tam. Ain't no doubt about it. Agent Joffrey will help us versus Sheffield United, says Matt Leeds. He got a good goal, didn't it? Yesterday or something, I think, Joffrey. Because everybody were asking for him to get him back. Mike says nothing wrong with a Badger. We knew that. BMG. The legendary MVG says the Badger becoming obsolete. The Badger, I think, because I'd never sell him, so it will be to the point where he breaks. I mean, he shouldn't break, but just in time, I suppose he'll just stop working, and I'll be devastated. But I will. He's got because he's quite a famous microphone. He's quite a famous Badger in the music world, and there's a box over there for him, and it comes in like all this, a little case, and it pops open, and he slides out and stuff. It was, I took a loan out for him, so I do like him. Yes, 78. That'll do me, sir. It's the Badger's birthday. Do you know? I might try and find the receipt. I'm not even joking. If I find the receipt, we will pick a day. And if not, shall we pick the day his birthday? If I can't find the receipt, I know what we'll do. If I can't find the receipt, we will have the Badger's birthday on the day that we are promoted. I.e., if we are promoted like 4 weeks, as soon as it's mathematically done. So if it's the last day of the season, or if it's 4 weeks before the end of the season, that will become his birthday. I think that's better than finding the receipt, to be fair. I'm only saying that because I can't be asked looking for the receipt. But if it's in the box, we'll go from the receipt. Or he could have it could be his anniversary. You could have his birthday, and then promotion could be his anniversary. Who knows? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Bring on the Badger. Well soiled win. That soiled thing, man. I need to write that down, because I forget about the soiled. I don't need to write it down, in fairness, because every time it pops up, it really makes me laugh. But I want to introduce soiled, so that when the newbies come over to the channel, it goes, because I get it all the time. It's like, what's that about? And it's like, well, you weren't here when it started, so I think the soiled thing will work quite well. So thank you for that moment, Neil. And thanks for never letting it go as well, because that's my favourite type of humour. When something happens and then it's just never let go of. It's like, my mum used to have a go at me for that, to be fair. She'd be like, you never let it go, you, do you? Like, no, because to me it just gets funnier and funnier and funnier and funnier. And then in like a year, you can't even remember why you're doing it or why you're saying it, and you're in on it anyway. CR81, big up the Badger. Alfred Tammy was on the packet, lol. Not the Badger. I know. I don't want to go over the Joffrey thing. He's gone now, hasn't he? But he's only on loan. But I don't know where he's going for him. 100% though, Duck Fuzz. 100%, because I don't particularly like Budweiser. But I don't know if I've spoke about this before, and this is so stupid, but I'm a total stickler for the deal in Tesco. So I'll get whatever is in the deal. I think I have spoke about this, but I don't know why I do that, because I'm not trying to be like, suggest I'm a baller or something. But when I go out, I am irresponsible with my money, to say the least. So I'll be buying just shit, just total shit, buying drinks, buying everybody. Like, well, do you want? Not everybody won't, but I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll get them off. When you do that thing when there's a group of 5 here and nobody wants to get to the bar, so you end up going to the bar first, and you're like, why am I at the bar again? And you're just buying everybody's drinks, and you end up getting home just thinking, how have I done that? And I have this mate who will remain nameless, but if he watches this on the off chance, he will know it's him. I've no need to name him, because he knows it's him. And even if I did name him, you wouldn't know who he was anyway, so it's pointless. But we'd get him from a night out, and you'd go like, oh, and I'd be like, fucking. I mean, it's not so bad now, because it's, I don't do it anymore. I don't get bullied into going to the bar, but not bullied, just going, well, if nobody else will make the move, I'll make the move. I'd get on and be like, I spent 120 quid last night, and then he'd say, how did you do that? How did you manage that? I'm like, you didn't, because of the things that I'm highlighting here. But anyway, that's not why we're here. Alfred Tam, 27th of January is Alfred Tam's birthday, so get that in your notes, everybody. Happy birthday for this, not this week, it'll be next week, will it, 27th? Ming says, please don't talk about the Badger's demise. Nobody puts Badger in the corner. I'm only trying to warn you. As funny as I find that, Mike, I don't want to put him in net because he will be very vulnerable in that position. Because balls will be banging into the Badger far too often, and I couldn't put him through that. He doesn't like balls, and he wouldn't be better than Meslier Silent S, unfortunately. Does the Badger have a Badger? Well, just off camera, the Badger does have a Badger. He's got a badge. He does have a badge, to be fair. His badge is right in the middle, in the sweet spot. Sweet spot. How do, Joel UFC? What's good, brother? It's well in order up the soiled. It was a wonder god. Yeah, I want to watch it, to be fair. It was on my Twitter, but to be honest, I were in a rush, and I thought, everybody was saying, I'll bring him back, because I actually, I was banging on one the other day that he's going to go there and not do all. And I didn't mean that one a disrespect to Joffrey. I just thought he's going to go there, and I still think that, regardless whether he's got a goal. But yeah, it's not a good place for him to go. But then obviously he's got a pelter, so need Badger on the mic merch. I might make some Badger merch. It'd be quite the. I don't know. I've never done. In fact, I do have some shit merch. I think somebody made me do it a couple of years ago, and I've never looked since, to be fair. But I don't think anybody bought it. But it was more just a humorous thing amongst my 5 listeners. I've missed the boat there. I don't get that. Budweiser and Carlin get out. I would never buy Carlin, no matter how cheap it was. But Budweiser, I can stomach. Ming hanging out. I can't talk. I've only had a mouthful. Ming handing out them memberships like it's Christmas. Protect the Badger at all costs. Joffrey gone. He's gone. It's over and soiled. Soiled he will be. Righteous one. Do you know? Fair enough. And I've never thought of it like that, but from the bottom of my heart, that is very true. You're not thinking straight. But I will like pontificate over like £1.50 and sacrifice the beer that I actually want for like 12 Budweisers, which I don't mind Budweiser. I don't compare it to Carling, but I want the Peroni or whatever, or the San Miguel or whatever, and then I'm not buying it because it's like £1.50 more, and it's just, why am I doing that when, like you say, I go to the club and just like I'm buying double vodka Red Bulls that I hate, and it's like 15-16 quid for a double, and like I've genuinely not got a problem with that in my pissed up mind. But yeah, I'll have to actually, on that, I'll have to go to Tesco like wasted and see if it alters my purchase. See how that goes down. I'll take the Badger merch. Badgy McBadgeface merch incoming. I'll have some of that, Jack. Like, get up. Like, my aim is to get the Badger. Like, I should take a photo of the Badger, shouldn't I? And try get him to be. I'll get him in. I need a certain scenery for him. Get a photo of him, and then we can try and get him. Get him out there, and everybody be like, "Why is this microphone got like 1.5 million likes and 400,000 shares?" It'd be piss funny, wouldn't it? Or I might make an Instagram, just like a Badger of the day, and just take photos of him in different areas. But he can't leave this room, so I'd have to put him under like my coat sleeve, for instance, just like wearing. I could have him wearing stuff. We could go anywhere we could go, but we've got to be careful with him. We've got to be very gentle with him, because if he breaks in the meantime of going viral, that is not worth it for me or the Badger. Yes. MVG, you're not letting me get away with that one. That was a complete accident. It wasn't about Man United, that though. It was about Sheffield United, and I don't know why I said it, and I will never forgive myself for it. So, it's not, and it's also not the place to misspeak on Joe's, because he's got the audience where they will not let you go. So it's like, I get away with it here with my 50 viewers, but when there's like 500 in there and you mess up, it's like, oh boy. Drop the ball here, because I'm going to drop the ball if I don't get a grip. Badger on the mic. Would he have put that? That's going straight in my basket. That were a good one. Make a rap about the Badger. Get Badger signed photos. We'll have to get some. There's got to be some operation we can pull off. Vodka Red Bull, the one. I don't like vodka Red Bull. I don't like vodka, but I drink it when I'm out. I'm partial to a rum and coke, but for some reason, every time my middle brother, like my older brother, but in the middle of three, he always wants to get on rum, and it just, it makes me feel so bad the day after. It's crazy how ill I feel day after when I've had some rum. I mean, we once went to Leeds Fest and he came up for Sunday. I always go, but my middle brother doesn't always get up there. And he were back. He lives in Harrogate now, but he lived in Manchester at the time. And he were back just for random weekend, and I managed to get him a ticket, and he were like, I'm coming through, and I was buzzing. And he brought this full bottle of Sailor Jerry's, and he were like, you're going to love this, you're going to love it. So we went to the arena, and I don't know how many pints, and I don't want to exaggerate, but it was a lot. It was enough. And then we got back and polished this bottle off, and then went back out, had a few more pints, came back thinking that we'd not drunk the whole bottle, and the bottle was gone, and we'd drunk it all, and I was so violently ill the day after. But I was the only person. There's caravans, like campsite caravans, where they play music out till like 5-6 in the morning to try and keep everybody like relaxed. And it's outdoor. It's totally outdoor. It's next to people's tents. And I am, to my knowledge and all my mates' knowledge, the only person to have ever been thrown out of an outdoor open space. They told me I had to leave the caravan. I can't, unless you've been to Leeds Fest, I can't explain what it actually is. It's basically everybody's asleep round this caravan, like for miles and miles. It's just tents. And then there's like a small, well, it seems small because you're at Leeds Fest, but it's massive section of grass where you can all party, and just like, they just try to keep you out of trouble, keep you something to do. Because back in the day, it used to stop at like 12 o'clock at night, and then everybody would be like, well, we're all smashed. What we're going to do for 6 hours? So you'd go to the yellow caravan or the blue caravan or whatever. Hey, here is me broski. That's who wrote me off. I was throwing up morning after. And then we went to Leeds game other Sunday, and we were on rum, and then I was so ill day after, nearly didn't get to work. But yeah, I got thrown out of the yellow caravan. These three steward guys came on and said, you've got to go home. And I was like, but my home's here. Like, my home's the tent there. Like, I'm actually laid outside of my tent. And they were like, but you're not though, are you? And I was like, well, I mean, at the time, I'm sure I was saying I am. But we'd started a fire, which you are allowed to do, but we were too close to the path and all this stuff. And so he were like, you're going to have to move it. And I was like, how are we supposed to move a lit fire? Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure how you can move it. Anyway, that's not why we're here. But best believe it was funny. I am certainly a liability on rum. I would have to say as well, I reckon my brother is also, so he gets me on it. And I can only imagine it's having some effect on him, because if he's made of something. I mean, I'm from the same ballsack, aren't I? So I presume. So some stuff runs in family, and I'd be surprised if for some reason he's got a slightly different gene that can deal with that level of rum, because I know I can't. But I've got to give some love to Jamie Tobin, who was putting Ming up for his competition, handing out memberships like it's Christmas again. Absolute legend, Jamie. I appreciate you, brother. I don't know if that has worked, that where I've clicked on there. Couple of gremlins in the system. Ena, what's good, brother? Fiegel Kelly says, what's this about? Is this Leeds talk? Reckon we beat Burnley. Is Burnley like Blackburn? All brown, never been to Burnley. Don't shoot me, I'm from Ireland. I don't even know. I couldn't even point to Burnley on a map. It's not my strong point in geography, so I don't even know where it is. I've never been neither. My mate assures me it's not the nicest place in the world, but having said that, I can pretty much guarantee he hasn't been either. So it's just, he says that about every team that we play against, to be fair. My mate is just like, shithole, absolute shithole. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, maybe you'd argue every place in England's a shithole then, but, you know, shithole, absolute shithole. Madri. That's too much for me to comprehend. I've spoke about the Aldi beer, and it's... Badger don't need no brother. I've got two, but Badger doesn't need Badger's a member of family though. I'd go that far with it, but he doesn't need no siblings. But I think after 20 minutes and 6 seconds, I think we should maybe discuss something about football. Righteous One says, I would put that on my screen, dude, but I've noticed that the live chat gets taken down, and I think it's because I click these swear words, these naughty words, these boo-boos, these om. I think I upload them onto the screen, and that's why the live chat gets taken down. So when anybody watches it back tomorrow, or if anybody that new watches it, they must just think I'm talking to myself or making these people up and just putting it on screen. So I try not to do that. Ena says, isn't Burnley just a shit town in Blackburn, at least according to lads at Ellen Road? That's what I mean. Everywhere's a shit town in Blackburn because we're in Championship. When we go to Premier League, it'll be a shit town elsewhere. But yeah, I do want to, believe it or not, I do want to talk about Leeds United at some point. I thought the game yesterday, to be honest as well, I can't believe how quickly it's turning round. So like, you know, Monday I felt like we had a bit of a rest, and then when he were doing his press conference today, I was like, shit, like we're already straight into a game, like, you know, because I thought, why is it press conference already? But, you know, I mean, I know it's a relatively decent rest in comparison to what you normally get, but, you know, I felt like it was a full week away because I thought, oh, we've got the Monday game, but obviously playing on the Wednesday, and my maths in, well, that ain't your maths, is it? That's just your general knowledge of when days land. You know, I think you'd have thought by now, I've been here long enough to know that, you know, there is 7 days in a week, and Wednesday don't come before Monday, but it does when you're in the Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? Because once you get to Tuesday, Wednesday comes before Monday, doesn't it? Whereas obviously Monday is the first day of the week, or some people argue maybe it isn't, because I don't know, and I don't know whether it is. Maybe Sunday's the first day of the week, because for some reason on some calendars it starts with a Sunday. So, but like Ming says, busy, and that's how I like it. It's mint when we just fly ink games in. It's ace. Thank you, Righteous One. That will suit me down to the ground, sir. I like it all in there, though. Don't worry about the chat. Just send them in. Send them home. But, you know, in terms of clicking on... Because also, I make the often error where I see it, you know, because I like all you guys. And I'll just click on there because I think, oh, you know, this will be... And then I'll read it as I'm clicking on it. And then I realise there's some, like, awful slur at the end. I know, Alfred. I know, lad. I know. I'm holding on to it. Grimes. No, Grimsby. Shithole's a swear word. Is shithole a swear word? Can only imagine it is. I've got a dictionary here if we need to go down that level. It might be in dictionary. Shithole spells shithole. That's a Alan Partridge quote for anybody that cares. But gentlemen, to business. So... tremendous start again. It's meant to get off to a flyer as we did. Obviously, against Wednesday, we got off to an instant start. Thank you very much, Jamie. I appreciate you tuning in, brother. It's meant to, the early goal, don't have to settle everybody down, like in ground particularly as well. Everybody just settles into like, here we are in full control. Badges in, badges on, badges over here, and it like we are flying. So it's meant... brilliant goal as well to score. I am now willing to tell the truth. I didn't see the goal because me and my eldest brother, who was so mad that me and my middle brother had gone to the game on Sunday together and he couldn't attend, and it frustrated him to so many levels that we could have all gone. I think he was keen to make me have a pint, so it got me a bit tiddly because he was certain that I would have been getting tiddly with my middle brother. So we missed the first 45 seconds, and obviously that's when the goal went in. So I actually missed the first goal, but having watched it back on the highlights, and to be honest, it were down wrong end anyway, and we've spoke about this before, I can't see shit down that other end, so I'm like, who's on ball? Who's on ball? And then if somebody scores or something, I think people in front of me, if they just catch like a little bit of my conversation, they must think, does he know even plays for Leeds United, this mongoloid behind us? But yeah, mint, Bogle, Aaronson, Solomon all linking up. James as well, obviously, you know, at ball. James has been in fine form, hasn't he? I'm so in love with James. He's mint. I love this squad. There's not a shit soil, yes, Jay. There's not a player in this squad, and I know people are going to go in on Meslier, Silent S, but there's not a player in this squad that I'm not all 4 in the workplace. I think they're all mint. Bogle has come on. I mean, he doesn't have to explain himself to me, but when he started at the start of the season, I wasn't 100% on Bogle, and I know all Sheffield United fans are all saying, "Oh, he's really good going forward and can't defend." But I'm not. We don't really need to defend in this league. In fairness, do we? We've proved that. We just, decent press, and we could be better defensively. But again, I think we're second best. I think we've got the second best defensive record. I think Farke mentioned that actually in his interview and said, to be first would be better in typical Farke fashion. Farke. But second best defence. So it's not a problem, Bogle's defending. I actually think he's got better. He's less rash. He's not leaving as many legs in, so we're like keen on giving away a bit of a penalty, or perhaps over keen to impress even defensively. But going forward, he's a beast. Grimsby's soiled. We can put that up. But that means solid, doesn't it? So we've got to get that off. Grimsby's a yardstick for soiled Earls. Here's an idea. Replace swear words with soiled, and we don't get the vid took down. The vid stays up, it's just the comments get taken down. I look like I'm talking to myself. Righteous one says, my auntie is a Jehovah's Witness and she considers shit a swear word. I would imagine shit is a swear word. Of that, there's no doubt. But yeah, getting off to a mint start just settles all fans down. Because, the Ellen Road, I mean, I've actually said for the last 2 games, I think the atmosphere's been mint, but we have had 2 really early goals, so it does settle everybody in. It relaxes everybody into maybe a false sense of security slightly. Or not a false sense of security, but don't give us that... after about 40 minutes, it starts to get a bit restless, and if we're not pressing, I said this on Joe's show, we're quite happy to just sit behind ball as well when they're actually on the ball. We're not too fussed or concerned about constantly being at them, and I think we could do a little bit more, could be a little bit more aggressive at times, but I just mean in general when we're sitting behind ball, they've got it in, and they're not provoking us in any way. There's no point as galloping out. It's a long game, we're going to have loads of possession. You can afford to let them have it for 40, 50 seconds, you know what I mean? And a lot of the time they would just try to ping it out wide, lumping it forward. It ended up at Mez's feet anyway, so it was ineffective what they were trying. I thought it'd be a bit more of a sticky game on the basis that Norwich are, decent, and because they've had some injuries and they've lost a few games. There was only a point behind Sheffield Wednesday, and a lot of people were talking about Sheffield Wednesday being a potential. I know it's a derby or whatever, but it's not really, is it? I hate to be. I don't want to be that guy, but I don't. It's a very new thing, this, where we're actually worried about the Sheffield United we are in sort of competition with at the moment, but I still don't feel like the derby rivalry with them. I don't like Wilder, which is a big one, he does my head in, but I love to hate Wilder, I don't want him getting sacked. I enjoy him being there because I dislike him and I know we're better than him, so I'm all for it. But yeah, the Sheffield Wednesday idea that it's a derby, and that, apart from sort of Sam Byram, who's there now that cares that Sheffield Wednesday's down the road? Do you know what I mean? I don't think anybody cares. They just want to get out of the league, don't they? Aaronson, I don't think... You've got to think some players, Firpo and Aaronson and, even Tanaka, really. Did they even know where Leeds were? Do you know what I mean? Americans think they're in another place in England other than London, so when Aaronson landed, he must have thought, bit cold up here, isn't it? Not that it's warm in London, that's a lot of woof in it. Although there is a bit of a city warmth, so they say, but and it is warmer in Leeds city centre than it is out on the outskirts, I suppose, but I don't know whether that's just buildings or something. I don't know. Is that geography? I don't know whether that's geography or not, but Solomon and James have been a revelation. There's a lot of people calling for Ramazani to get inside, which we do need. We don't need. We need to give him as many minutes as possible without affecting Solomon and Dan James. There's no need to take them out. I say this all the time, which is a bit of a nick off my eldest brother, but these things tend to work themselves out. There'll be one of them will get a niggle. I hate to say it, but Solomon might need more of a rest than Dan James. Once Dan James gets going, it's very rare that he's sort of outside, isn't it, or unavailable. So Solomon not so much. So Ramazani will then come in, and then similar to what happened when James got his injury and Ramazani came in, or was it Solomon that got his injury and Ramazani came in? Regardless, he ended up getting some minutes, played really well. Then Farke keeps him in. It's what I love about my man Farke. He doesn't. There's no knee jerking. It's always if you play well, you keep your spot, don't you? Quite literally. Well, that's one of the best insults ever then, dude. I'm up for that, Alfred Tam. We get a goal scorer in 9. Can you imagine how good we'd be, says Duck Fuzz. So, we do have one. We do have a goal scorer, don't we? And his name is Joel Parisley, who's got 10 goals, who is short of a goal recently, would he be? How many games is that unbounced where he's not got a goal? He's perhaps short of a goal, but in the past, I'd be guessing, but I reckon it's 4 games. I can't remember the last goal he got. I remember the low drive that he got when we threw it away at Hull. So will that be the last goal he got? So how long ago is that? He might have scored since then, but off the top of my head, I don't think he did. Hull will be 3 games ago, will it? Let's have a look here. Let's have a gander. Norwich, Sheff Wednesday. I'm not counting Harrogate. Yeah, so that says two league games ago since my man Paral Parisley got a goal, which you got to take. You've got 10 goals this season, haven't you? Granted, I think we can improve on Paral Parisley, but I don't see the. I'm over it now. I'm all right with it. I'm literally over it. I think we could do with strength in depth in the number 9. We've only got Joseph. I'm going to talk about Farke's press conference because obviously he did mention that they do need a 9 and a 10 and a centre back, but Paral Parisley will get 20 goals. And if he gets 20 goals, like my man Joe Depp says, you just keep playing him. He'll pick up enough goals. He don't really need to do a lot. Bit of build-up play. I actually think his build-up play is a lot better than people let on for. I think he gets a really hard time. This is what I'm saying. This is my point. I'm over it. I'm not bothered now. I've had enough of anybody abusing Aaronson, anybody abusing Paral Parisley. It's unnecessary. We can improve in them areas, but right now, we don't have anybody better, and until he gets here, it's I didn't think Peru could do it. I was slightly concerned at the start of the season, but he is doing it. Legendary MVG says an early goal eases the tension. It 100% does, especially such a ludicrously early goal. It stops everybody getting on everybody's back, doesn't it? That's what I mean. Because after 40 minutes, it can get a bit aggy in there, and then it starts to get like pressurised. Like they start to get worried that we're never going to get a goal, and it's like the goal will come. Johnny Garner says we're going to spank Burnley come Monday. Get up. I don't know the Rangers score because they're playing Scum United, so let's have a look. I don't really want to be typing these in, do we? But it's 2-1 for 94th minute. Been a howler apparently. I don't know what that means. Well, I do know what that means. Own goal from Jack Butland. Is that the howler? Oh, no way. They fucking equalised in 88th minute. And then Penandez has scored at 92nd minute. Fucking lizards. My mate works with a Scum fan, and he's concerned that they're going down this year, which is I'm so up for, but that is preposterous, isn't it? What a load of nonsense. I think some Man U fans don't. I mean, we know this, don't we? They don't watch football, or they don't have an interest in it. That's why they support them, because there's no other reason why you'd support them. And the idea that you'd support them if you were from there is, I don't even agree with that. You'd support Man City, and I'm on about even from back in the day when it would feed the goat and he will score Sean Goater style, and before that, the Paul Dickov days and stuff. Paul Dickov's obviously divides opinion, but crazy guy. They're the first club, I think, aren't they? Man City in Manchester, so there's no excuse to support Man United. There's no excuse. Furpo thinks Sheffield Wednesday is a bank holiday. That's what I mean. So when he's got here, he'll have been like, Sheff Wednesday? What? So like Shrove Tuesday or like St Paddy's Day? Jimmy sandwiches, I'm not ruling it out, because it does thin the blood, doesn't it? Alfred, I love it, big lad. Sensational. The idea of me getting in between you, my badger getting in between you and your missus, that'll put me to sleep tonight. I'll sleep well tonight knowing that. we'll talk about this, Rick. We'll talk about this right now. I am keen to stay on top of comments, and I don't want to get behind because I got behind last week and I started getting told off. But I've been an advocate for that for not instead of Aaronson, but as an option. I think that's the best idea. But he didn't mention that when he got asked about, Aaronson's backup cover, and he was talking about Peru can play there, Parisley. They're all the same person for anyone that doesn't know. Nonto. Is that it? Is that all he mentioned? Peru, Nonto. I don't know if he mentioned Solomon. But regardless, he didn't mention Ramazani. And I honestly think Ramazani's the only one of the wingers that you'd want to be playing in the 10. And I don't really want any of them in there. I'd rather get a 10. Alfred Tam agrees with you, Rick. I'd be up for Ramazani in 10. I think he's... is that to me? Or are you on about Aaronson or Ramazani? Yeah, I think he's the only one that can really pick up ball on like half turn, like really like threaten, like Rutter did, where it's just like when he turns, he's so mint on ball and like he's so fast, he's Ramazani, and like he's got a good strike from edge at box and stuff. It's like that'd be what I'm about. This is why I've realised that I'm behind. Elvis Parisley looks well slow last game. Parisley, I'm all for it. Full time 2-1, I must be behind. 78 RPM saviour, plus 5 assists, and could still have the best G&A based on minutes in this division. He's better than something. Agreed. Really good balance in this team. Think Parisley will keep improving, but we need more height in the opposite box to aim for. That's the only thing I would say about Parisley. I think the rest of his game, although people can get frustrated with it and what have you, the rest of his game is good enough, decent for me, like, whatever. I think again can be improved on. But in terms of like, and I don't mean a hit man. I don't, I'm not on board with, big old school number 9 or whatever, but and it's not really his hold up play. Neither him nor Joseph have got any hold up play, to be honest, at the moment. But Parisley doesn't, for some reason, he's quite a big lad. Do you know what I mean? And he's quite a wide lad. You'd think he'd be able to, I don't know. You just think he'd be a bit stronger. It's not a strength thing either, is it? Because you can be weakling, but you just it's your timing and stuff. I'm not the stockiest lad, but you're not pushing me off at ball, and then obviously many a man have pushed me well off the ball. But you've got, as long as you're intelligent with it, as he well knows. I'm not patronising Parisley, but and he's playing up against some absolute monsters in centre back. But just needs to just do a little bit more, like get a big dumb ass out and get in way up, get your arms out and be a bit more awful. Chiava. Brenda has come through. I'm going to start calling him Brenda. Peru's still sluggish. It's just how he looks. I love how you corrected the come goose, but not the Brenda. I'm going to start calling him Brenda because Brenda's his name. He's got a baby. Ming agrees with Rama in the 10. I just think off at bench as well. If I know we've Solomon needs rests and stuff, and it's working and it leaving him on left, but it's just like it's very rare we get Aaronson off the pitch. Facts, Ming dropping them facts. The football world will be in dreamland if Man United were relegated. Can you imagine, my friend? I would never stop laughing. It'd be the nuts, wouldn't it be? I could sign out of football, and they say like, oh, your career high or whatever. I could never. No, could I never watch a football game again? Not to watch them get relegated, because no, because then they'd be good in Championship. I'd rather them just stay as they are forever. I'd be well up for that. That's exactly right, actually. That's exactly where I'm at. I'd rather them stay exactly where they are, just getting beat like every other week. It's just well funny to watch them, than watch them get relegated once, rebuild, win the Championship, come up, and then start to build and then actually push on. Because they'll always have loads of cash, won't they, Man U? So I'd rather them just be stuck in 15th, 16th for like till I DIE. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm DED dead. That's what I'd be up for. G&A from the 10. I don't. Is that true, Righteous One? I think he's been playing wide for us more often than not. Yeah, I know. Everybody's gone absolutely mental for that Trafford as well, haven't they? Just because he scored, just because he saved a couple of penalties. Pirouette, Parisley is a deadly finisher. Agreed, he really is. We just need to keep oiling him up with chances. That's what I'm saying. It's on that like Haaland hype in it. I'm not saying he's as good as Haaland, but it's just like not really bothered if he's not doing a great deal else. Just come up, pick ball up a bit, a couple of 1-2s, like move it on. And that's doing him a slight disservice because I do think he's quite good when he turns on ball and he can actually get at the back line and he can pick an half decent pass out. I don't think he's an idiot, do you know what I mean? It's just when it comes to like in and around the box, he is a fox in the box and he does look calm, cool as a cucumber. And we saw that immediately, to be fair, and that's, you know, it started last season, he got some good goals like from 12 yards out and you just thought, yeah, he's a proper finisher, him. And it's, you know, you'd think coming to a new club, that's where the hesitance might be. Obviously, to be fair, that you could argue that you're just full of spunk and then as you get further into the season, it can dry up a little bit. I think he got a little bit snatchy towards end of last season, though, but I think everybody did. We went to shit a little bit, didn't we? So 78 RPM. Unfortunately, I'd like to disagree with this, but I don't think it's Trafford. So because I want to try and disagree with this just on the base that I was a swear word and I need to try to take that off. We would be though, unfortunately, because I do think Mez has, cost us 6 points really. Oh, well, no, he hasn't, as he's cost us 4 points, so we'd be 4 points further up. Because obviously we gained 2 from the games that we drew that we had have won, so it's not 6 points. It's still frustrating. I'm not saying it's not frustrating. Sorry, Badge. See, that's what I mean. That's how accidents happen, And I mean, he never says, or he never, you nudge him, you bang him, and he never batters an eyelid. Ramazani, Rick says, Ramazani is the number 10. Aaronson's done us great. No criticism. Just think Ramazani will do well. See, Rick, this is where I'm at. You can say something about a player like Ramazani, who clearly is excellent, who is better, if I was then to be critical, is better than Aaronson in probably every footballing sense. But that doesn't mean, as you've said, Aaronson's done great. No criticism. It's just that's what I like to hear. I'm so up for the chat when it's, but unfortunately I do think there's a lot of people about that don't talk like that, and it's like Aaronson's not doing it. He's got 5 goals, Aaronson. He's got 7 goals, hasn't he? He's got as many as James. Solomon's on 5 now. We're starting to get going. 7 goals from Aaronson's a pretty good return. Now, what would Ramazani get from the 10? I think, to be fair, we're safe with Aaronson. I think he'll, if he doubles what he's done this year, thus far, we'll go up with Aaronson. But having that Ramazani as the option in the 10, my point is it'd be worth looking at, wouldn't it? Brenda, for how many times he's taken down, he loves getting the foul, does lad. But and also he's a lot stronger than he was in Prem, wasn't he? Because he was shirking a lot, wasn't he, in Prem, and it was frustrating. Gets more takedown than me bird, says Alfred Tam. Get up. I obviously hope you mean that in the right way. Ming, I love it. I don't put scum on the screen because I'm never sure. CB's here. What's good, brother? Evening. Duck Fuzz, I like Peru. Just could a player who is a little more mobility and aggression. 100%. There's nothing wrong with Peru. We know exactly what Peru Parisley is now, don't we? Peru Parisley is. Peru Parisleys. We know exactly what Peru Parisley is. I would prefer someone who doesn't have what Peru has and the rest of what Peru has. But unfortunately, at this level, that means elite footballer, doesn't it? If he's a fox in the box, a killer in front of goal, that's what Parisley is. doesn't have other things, can't press as well, not as mobile. Even though I think that gets milked a little bit, but he's not rapid. So then he becomes slow. Well, he's not slow because he can still get to the ball or whatever. But you know, once you get all of them things, all at 8s and 9s, then you don't play in Championship, do you? So, you know, because Joseph has them things that Peru doesn't have, but then doesn't have the things that Peru has per Al Perisley. So we know what Perisley's. So, and at the moment, that's the one that we're sticking with. So, Battle of the Roses, best fixture ever. Any Leeds game's best fixture ever, brother. Peru was sweating, unlike Ireland. Bogle's been... I owe Bogle half an apology because I was only messing about at the start of the season, but I said, has this bloke got a gambling problem or something like that? Is he spending all night out and about? They've been hitting John Lewis casino up. But he's been sensational. Cheers, XXAO. Thanks for coming in, brother. Thank you, dude. That's very nice. And smash the like button, he says. Appreciate you, brother. Sorry, I've just seen that already. I'd have gone in earlier. I appreciate you. So do smash the like for me, guys, if you can. I always forget to say that, and Joe tells me off. Says you've got to tell him, that's why. So, and I don't, but... No way up, Joe. What's good, brother? We've got the goat in the building. I'm under pressure now. He's going to be expecting some sort of... well, to be fair, I know Joe well enough to know that he's not expecting anything of me. So, yeah. Ming 59 is a Championship striker. That's where I'm living. That's what I'm saying. You get much more than that. I mean, to be fair, you know, and Haaland he's not immune from getting the abuse, really. You know, Keane and that were saying, weren't they, for, you know, that he's a league in his build-up play and stuff. And I think that's wildly aggressive. That, I mean, I don't think he's so good in front of goal and he's so direct and strong and stuff that's definitely a strong point. But, you know, I don't know if I think the rest of his gameplay is good enough. Who agrees that Joe's the goat? Joe is the absolute goat. He's the bee's knees, the mutt's nuts. Yes, JL, UFC, cheers for coming in, dude. Archie, Isla, please get some sleep. We can't be up all night. You will only give tonight to tomorrow, and tomorrow's a new day. Once you give the night to the day, believe me, as somebody that's done it for a long time, it catches up with your big style, and then by Sunday, and the goat, Joe's asking you to go on the final word, and you can barely open your eyes, and you think, how am I going to operate under these circumstances? But you still get it done, but don't tell Archie and Isla that. But yeah, get to bed. 78 RPM save, he says, I think Aaronson is at the top of his game, while Ramazani is a few years from being at his top, a real prospect, but Brendan is effective now at this level. I worry about Aaronson when we go up a little bit, because again, it's kind of the same on the Farke stuff, where Aaronson's not going to be as good, is he, when we go up? So it's gonna be like he's going to be the fall guy. He's going to get hit for it and get loads of stick. And then, but having said that, we're going to have to make some signings, aren't we, when we go up? We're already looking for him in this window, as we've expressed on Joe's show. But when we go up, we are going to need, undoubtedly, and the I think you could get away with bringing in a 10 now that wasn't ready, and I think it'd appease people who just think, well, it was just to get up. I don't want to do that, because I'd rather get the guy in that we can actually have a few months with, and then go into the new season thinking, well, he's the 10, and then Aaronson's mint around the place, because I don't think Aaronson will embarrass himself in Premier League. Also, we have to get away from this a little bit. That's why I'm up for Firpo signing a new contract and actually having a go in the Prem again, because he's been brilliant for us, and if we'd have not signed him, that'd have been an amazing signing, wouldn't it, in the Championship. He didn't do it in the Prem, but we were so bad. It's like nobody had been able to do it. I know we had Raf at the time the year before, and he were still awesome when we were in relegation problems. But that's kicking on to another level now, isn't it? He's ripping it up at Barcelona and stuff. That's going on again. That's above. There's so many tiers to the level that you're playing at, isn't it? And Aaronson is better than people are letting on. People that he's getting, and to be fair, I think people have got over it a little bit. Brendan done great for us, but definitely needs someone else to help with the load. Yeah, agreed. Ming says go. Joe's the goat. Ena with the goat signal. The goat. Jack is the God and Joe is the Jesus. I would go. I'd go the other way around. Well, I wouldn't go the other way around. I don't think I'm Jesus. I'm not saying I'm Jesus, but I'm unhappy with the order that's in. Joe goated, Jack legendary. I'm now reluctant to say that I'm happy with that because I don't want the legendary status. But Joe is goated. The real problem is getting up. Ming, I know you're being crass, but we are going up, brother. And it's no problem round here. Ain't nobody down round it. Ain't nobody staying down round here. Bro, I thought you were on Joe's at 9. Did Joe entice you as Sting? I don't know. I'm confused by that, Andy. Now I was on Joe's at 8, and then I'm here now. Jack is the man. Say Pat, don't know. You're the man. You the man. Aaronson's the donkey's bollocks, says Tom. Jack's got soul, but he's not a soldier. You've been here a while, haven't you? I forgot about got soul, but I'm not a soldier. One of the worst lines in music history. Because it's so nonsensical. There's so many lines that are nonsensical, but that's a big one. I know, Charles Sampson. It's like one of them things, though, like where it's like an acceptance. And I went to Specsavers, because I had a bit of an issue. I was getting like these like lights in my eyes. Like I'm not even joking. It happened. I finished DJing and I wasn't drunk, and because I'm saying that as though I'm always drunk and I'm not. And I thought my mate were like flashing a torch at me, but you can get migraines apparently. But they did some tests on me in Specsavers, and it was horrendous. I don't know what anybody else thought, but they're holding my eye open, and I was like, I can't. I don't know if that I'm horrendous with like claustrophobia or whatever, and I don't know if that's a claustrophobic thing, but sort of stuck in there. And then obviously if you move, the whole process has to restart. So I'm there for the fight. I'd have rather him like say, "Can we have a scrap?" and you're not allowed to punch me back, but you can defend yourself a bit. I'd have rather done that than what he was saying. Yes, Joe. Yeezus. I'm not a Yeezy though. To be fair, I don't really like Yeezys. No, not really, Andy. I think I could do. But is anybody else a Yeezy? I like Kanye, to be fair. I like his music and stuff, but I think them Yeezys are crazy. Although, Joe, I've seen some of your shoe content. I've seen some of your whatever them. I can't remember what make they were, but whatever the inflatable ones were, the most mental things I've ever seen in my whole life. But I did enjoy them. I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull them off, but you were rocking them. What were they? I can't remember what made they were, but they're like big like balloons. They were mint, big yellow things. I think they were yellow. Like flashing lights for 40 years. Love them. It happened to me again a month ago, but it's like it can be a migraine apparently. Honestly don't know. I'm sure he said you were like the singer Sting to his show. Like the singer Sting. Like the Sting. I mean, Sting's very established, successful. Do you know what, Tom? That would be a right laugh on it, to be fair. I've never thought about that. And there's no reason why you couldn't actually get that going on, You only need a generator. I could actually get hold of a generator. The problem is, I know what you boys are like, and it'd all start well enough. And then, I mean, I don't know if you went to Millennium Square when we went up last time. And then we're in lockdown, wasn't it? So you weren't really even allowed to be there. Not that anybody cared, including me. But it was wild. So, at the start, it'd be like, hey, like get some tunes blaring out, a couple of speakers. And then when everybody's hanging off at speakers, dangling off my speakers and that, I'd be like, right, shut this shit down. I'd be like in panic mode. I'd be like barging everybody about and that. And everybody would be like, I thought you were like quite chilled out. And fuck you, get up, you fucking. and then people would be grabbing all that, spinning back and that. If we could create like if you could cage me up like a bad dog, if we put me in a cage, I'd be up for that. Just get tunes blaring out. But you'd all want tunes that I wouldn't want to play though as well. It'd be like I'd be getting requests one night at the Millennium Square rave, the illegal Millennium Square rave, and I'd be getting requests. It's like, requests, boys? Are you joking? I can only play Pump It Up so many times, or fucking Kaiser Chiefs. It's like, we can't just do this on repeat. Marching On Together is a great song, but I don't know if we can just, I don't know if we can keep spinning it over. Most people are squeamish when it comes to having their eyes examined. I do hope so. It's not the North Face slippers. They're the ones. They're the badgers. I love an Air Max. LUFC going up. Bryn Jones gets up. Jesus Walks was written caged up with a badger. I would never bring a badger to the promotion party, man. Couldn't do it. Jesus Walks was written... Kanye did make the beat, but Jesus Walks was written by one of my favourite ever rappers, and he's called... Well, no, he's not one of my favourite... Well, he is one of my favourite... I'll just talk. Not one of my favourite rappers, but he has a few of my favourite tunes ever. So it's a weird dynamic, that. So I think for some reason he should have been better in general, but there's a few songs. He's called Rhymefest. He's got 3 songs that are like some of the best songs ever, and then the rest of them, bit shit. But he wrote Jesus Walks. They were good friends, him and Kanye. Rhymefest was meant to be like the next... Well, he was never going to be the next best thing, to be fair, because he's just a rapper. But he wrote Jesus Walks, and Kanye heard it, put it on that beat. Rhymefest, originally it was going to be his. Kanye asked Rhymefest for it. He said he could have it because Kanye was a much more established artist. But I want you to put me on the last verse. So he'd have the last... So he was going to let Kanye have the full thing, put him on the last verse. So he signed over to it, everything, in whatever, and then Kanye didn't put him on the last verse. And that's not me digging out. I couldn't care less. It's just an interesting story, that. So it came out on the album, and then obviously it went massive. Rhymefest got paid for that. Every time it gets played, he'll get paid. He's on the credits, but yeah, he never put him on, so they massively fell out over that because he just wanted the final verse. Kanye didn't give him it, and that's shit as shit does, as we know, don't we? If Jack takes his decks to Millennium Square, I predict a riot. No doubt about it. I saw him getting up there. It was mental. There's a photo. One of my mates, well, he's not my mate, I just know him. One of them, they were all climbing up there, mate. It were like bounty app and that. It was so bad though. My mate, they were like, obviously people like boozing and that, and everybody were going to Sainsbury's because there were. I think in that time there were a few pubs open. I think you could still go to pubs, but you had to do like 4 people in there or whatever that shit was. But there were like cans rolling about and that, and my mate, unbeknown to me, he'd like cracked open this Worthington or Boddingtons. Yeah, it were Boddingtons. And I was like, where have you got Boddingtons from? Like, what, you don't drink Boddingtons? And he was like, it's off at Floor. And I looked down and they were like, but not in a pack. Do you know what I mean? It had rolled from God knows where, Boddingtons. And he was just supping this kind of Boddingtons. He'd been and bought his own beer, but he was like, oh, if it's free, it's for me. So he's supping this Boddingtons. I'm like, honestly, I mean, that goes on another level from what I'm on about with, going to Tesco and trying to save £1.50, but no fizzling yellow. It was mental do. You've got to... It's going to be... Town will be so mint when we go up this year. I can't wait. I can wait, because I'm going to enjoy all this. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to enjoy being mint. So I can actually wait, because as you get older, you start to learn that patience is a virtue. And like, it's good to wait. Rather than just being like, I want it now. It's like, no, because then it's over and then we'll be shit next year and we'll get bummed. But right now, we're flying. Farke's coming out in press conferences, giving it big licks, saying we need players. Calvin won't be there, CB. No chance. Stella's everywhere, says Tom. Righteous One. I remember a Rhymefest track with DJ Premier. I'm going to have to Google that, because Don't get me started. I know this is not a music channel, so I do apologise, everybody. Because I didn't know anybody would know even who Rhymefest was. Oh, it turns out I've not heard this track, dude. And it turns out I can't say it out loud because it has the N-word in it. But it's real N quotes. He had a few tracks with Kanye, as I say, like early on. One called Brand New, I think, which actually got reused. That ended up being in an advert like quite recently, but that's the Kanye beat. But Jay-Z wrote, Rhymefest wrote loads for Kanye. They all do. It's as bad as John Smith's. It's awful. Next time it's going to be with town wide open as well. It might not be as like condensed into Millennium Square. That's the thing as well, because town will just be wild, won't it? Like, whereas everybody will. I know everybody will still pile into Millennium Square. No, to be fair, it'll be. I mean, what was interesting about that? It's coppers they just had to accept it, didn't they? Because obviously you weren't allowed to do that. And we got to like a row of coppers that they like opening from Millennium Square, and they were like, and we thought, here we go. You know, there's 4,000 or however many there was through this gap, and they're going to stop me and my two mates going through. Do you know what I mean? But they just wanted you to walk in and walk out. Like, as long as you go, you know, when they did that thing in COVID where, like, as long as you're walking in a circle or you're walking that way and they're walking that way, you can't get COVID. And they did that thing. Or like, you know, what a mental time. But yeah, so they just shepherded us down, so we all just walked at bottom, and then you had to get into pack. But I'm not much, even at a gig, I don't want to be front and centre. I like to just chill at back with my Boddingtons, with my mates, with my Boddingtons. Getting giddy. So my Tom, it makes me feel mint. Going up, up, up. I don't think I came where, that's the thing. I don't know who Frank Nazi is. I don't want to put that on the screen either, Andy. I didn't know Engine Shed did. Is that in Wetherby? I didn't know they did gigs. I thought it was just like weddings and that, to be fair. Gillavogie with a can of Stella in his hand and a Leeds scarf tied round his head in Millennium Square when we go up. Can you imagine? Wow, as Joe would say. Well, not as Joe would say, as Joe would impersonate Gillavogie. Oh, wow. Oh, we've not spoke about Leeds much, have we, guys? But Farke mentioned pitches, didn't he? But I didn't see the post-match interview after the Norwich game. So he's obviously mentioned that, but then I saw the pre-match for Burnley coming up, and he mentioned the pitch. So I don't know, is there a problem with Ellen Road's pitch or something, or is he just referencing the fact that it's, you know, we're getting into the season and we're having games coming thick and fast, which I'm sure it probably is the case, because he mentioned it like due to with injuries as well. Thought that was quite interesting. I didn't think Bamford would be back in 2 weeks. He was keen to mention that. I love these little rant. We spoke about it on Joe's, but I loved how he went. He seemed really positive about. He's extremely calculated. Is my man Farke. He never messes about. It's like, that's why I like him when he's a bit. I actually, you know, and I've said this for the past few weeks, I don't mind him not talking about. So if he gets asked about transfers and he don't want to talk about it, he doesn't have to talk about it. It doesn't owe me out. I don't care. As a fan, I just want the play. I just don't care whether, if he lies to me for 25 days and says, "Oh, we're not bringing anybody in, and not really bothered," and behind the scenes he's really bothered. He's really trying to get a player and he's really pushing for it, and then we get someone in. I don't care what he said for 20 days. You know, I'll put up with it. I'd rather he do what he did today, but that was all worth the wait. Just everything seems really calculated with Farke, so I'm up for that. You know, back to his best today with conference, and I don't just mean because he said what I wanted to hear. It's because I felt though the past few weeks that he's tripped himself up, which he never normally has done. Even when he goes off on a waffle and starts to bang on about stuff that's just unimportant or a bit irrelevant or boring or whatever, it's very calculated. Whereas I felt like some stuff that he said, like when he said things like, I'm not bothered about the squad being big. It's like, there's two ways of saying that. And Bielsa accidentally said that, although I've never seen Bielsa say that, but it was alleged that he accidentally said that, and then it would never let go of that, was it? Then for for Bielsa's whole time here. We're like, it's because he don't want players. Players aren't coming because he don't want them in. Like, he does want them in. He was trying to say he wants better players. He doesn't just want a load of dross. He can get a load of cack in. He don't want that. So, it were the wrong way to say it. Alfred Tam says 49ers work in silence. I think they do. I just said do. But I think they do. But it was just interesting that Farke started to bring it up. It's not just dawned on him that we need a centre-back, we need a number 10, and we need a 9. He didn't mention Meslier, silent S, because, he's going to live and die on that. Be interested to see what we do in summer with that, because you would imagine, how old's Darlow now? Or how long's his contract for it? Darlow's not going to want to mess about, really, is he? 34. Yeah. We signed Darlow, didn't we? He's not on loan, is he? Yeah. Did we sign Darlow? We signed Darlow. Anyway, regardless, you would imagine he's going to want out, because if he's not our Championship keeper, he's not going to be our Premier League keeper, is he? And I know everybody wants rid of Meslier, silent S. And, going forward, long term, he needs to iron out these pretty big mistakes that he's making. But we're going to get away with it. And I know, if Joe's still in the chat, I know that does his nutting when I say we're going to get away with it. But we are going to get away with it. In the second half, as was said on Joe's show, the statistics, we didn't face a shot on target in the second half. That is wild. And also, I might be wrong on this. I'm butchering the quote now, the stat, but that's like the 7th time, I believe he said, this year that's happened, which is a record, which is wild, or might be the 7th time in his tenure here. It's crazy. Regardless how you look at it, it's crazy. Meslier, silent S. I also think he's better on the ball than Darlow, and I know nobody likes Meslier, silent S's distribution, but it's better than Darlow's. He's a better goalkeeper than Darlow. I don't think anybody's calling for Darlow to be the man. My point is, he's going to move out. Meslier, silent S probably isn't going to move out, so it'll be interesting to see what we do. I personally think, rightly or wrongly, Meslier, silent S will be the number 1 goalkeeper at the start of next season. I can't be bothered explaining whether or not I think that's good or bad. It's a topic for another time. But I think he will be. So. I will ask Joe about this Sting reference. Sting from Police. Well, Alfred Sam says that's because Norwich is shite in front of goal. But there were a point off. We'd gone, for some reason, we'd gone from Sheffield Wednesday, who were granted higher in the league than Norwich, and all thought that would be a sticky game. And then gone into, we'd done so well in that, and then Norwich game was just similar vibe. But they're only a point off. In the past 5 games, they're in better form. I know they've got loads of injuries, but Norwich are shite. There's a few teams in this league that are totally shite, but we don't know where the sticky fixture is going to come from. And my man Farke referenced that. He said in his interview, which I loved, again, this is what I mean, he was back on form, back on tip-top point, where I just thought everything he's saying, it's like, yes, get up, Farke. I love it when he's like this. I love his interviews, even though they're a bit boring and a bit like his football, you could argue. I'm sure people will argue that. But yeah, he mentioned that, we beat Leicester twice. We beat Ipswich. Did we beat Ipswich twice? I know we didn't beat Southampton, but, then we didn't go up. So it's like, we need to maintain it in it. And when he started to talk as though, I know we're not getting towards the end of the season, but we're how many games in now? We're getting somewhere. We're balls deep. It's 28 games, 17 games won, 8 games drawn, 3 games lost. It's crazy form. Too many draws in there. If we could substitute one of them, but that is what it is, isn't it? I don't want to bring Mez up again, but that goes down to 6 draws, doesn't it? And then 19 wins. And this is really obvious, and I hate to be that guy, but I say it all the time. Whoever wins the most games now. Please let me do the full sentence before I get pelters. Whoever wins the most games wins the league. So not, and that sounds obvious, but it's not. So, because people draw a lot of games. Burnley have drawn 11, they've won 15. Unless they win more than us, drawing will not do you no favours. You're better off losing a few. We've lost one more game than Burnley, and we're 3 points in front of them, and they've beat us. Do you know what I mean? So that was one of the losses. So you could argue that that catches us up. They've gained on us when we've lost, but we've lost one more game than them, and we're 3 points in front of them. We've drawn 8, they've drawn 11. Drawing games is no good. It makes me think of Mourinho when he said in the when he were at Chelsea, he'd rather lose a game than draw a few. And it's obvious. I know it's the same, but you're losing games. You're literally losing the amount of games played to play, and you're wasting them. You're wasting points. If you lose once, you've lost 3 points. If you draw 3 times, you've got 3 points, and you've got 3 games down. Do you know what I mean? You're 3 games in. You're eating into it. If we drew the next 3 games, we'd be on 31 games, and we'd have 62 points. You'd be better off losing 1 and winning 2, obviously. You know, that's 6 points out of 9 rather than 3. Do you know what I mean? You might have played a lot better in them games or get grinding draws out. And currently, Sheffield United have won 1 more game than us. Now, granted, they obviously got 2 point deficit taken off them at the start, didn't they? But which is why they're not in front of us. But, you know, that is what it is. Anybody that sort of goes down that line where it's, you know, that just is what it is. That's what happens when you piss around and it fuck around, find out, whatever he said. Chat shit, get banged. Chat shit, end up second. But yeah, if Mez on them, that's 19 wins, then that, you know, the league makes sense regardless whether they've lost points or not. So again, I've said it before, but we're well over half now. If we lose another 3 games to end the season, draw another 8, win another 17, I know the maths isn't there because that's too many games. We go up, obviously, because we're top at league. Winning games is so important. Let's take the loss every now and again to win. That's what I'm saying. It's a big game on Monday, really, because it's, you know, I know it's obvious, it's a 6-pointer, but, you know, we pull away big style from them then. We're 6 points away from Burnley then. But Farke didn't stop with the, you know, we're talking about the centre-back, which I was surprised he mentioned. I didn't think he was ever going to mention a centre-back. Mentioned a centre-back, mentioned a 10, mentioned a 9, said where we were strong. Interesting as well, we Gruev coming back. Spoke to Joe about this in some voice notes. Whether Gruev, I think it's more just a getting Gruev in for minutes, to be fair, because I just think we're aware if Farke doesn't get the centre back in, or, you know, some backup, and I mean, it's true, it's brilliant news about him. He's looking like he's going to get back, but if he don't get if he don't get back to full fitness, and we're still looking at Ampadu, I think he's keen. We have to get Gruev going. It's also interesting that he give them some serious minutes. Now, everybody pisses and whinges about Farke making these late substitutions. Well, it's interesting when he's got the bench like he's got. Now, you know, take out people like Ramazani, who we just know should get more minutes. But, you know, to be fair, I need to check this because I don't know if I don't know what time he brought Firpo on. I don't know whether were it Gruev and Firpo he brought on early. Why am I looking at the fucking Hull game? That's not going to help me, is it? I think it would. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was Gruev. He didn't bring Gilavogi on till late. Were it Nonto he brought on early? I can't remember how many minutes Firpo got. But my point is wanting to get them going in. Maybe less so with Firpo, to be fair. There's no mad rush on that, in the basis that Byram's still there. I know Wobber can't seem to. I don't know whether it's a fitness thing or whether he's not. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously a slight fitness thing, but I don't know what's going on with Wobber. But Gruev's keen to get him some minutes if we're not going to bring this centre back in, and we're waiting on Struick. Because if we haven't got Gruev back and one of these lot, you know, Rothwell or Tanaka falls, then you're in on Gilavogi, aren't you? Which I know everybody likes Gilavogi, but you don't want to be starting with Gilavogi, do you? For some reason, Gilavogi has to get 5-6 minutes at the end of each game. Tom says around 60th minute, wasn't it? I thought it was, but I wasn't sure whether he'd brought. I can't remember what order he brought Rothwell and Tanaka off. Did he bring Tanaka off first for Gruev? No, well, Rothwell for Gruev. I can't remember. My memory's shite. But they got Gruev definitely got 30 minutes. I thought Firpo did, but if he didn't, he didn't. You know, it might have been Ramazani or it might have been Nonto, but I felt like he brought Ramazani and Nonto on at the same time because he obviously brought Solomon and James off, didn't he? Regardless. Also, that backs it up again. Like Aaronson, we apparently running on a bit of a knock, wasn't it? 50-50, and then 90 minutes. It's like you know, it is a worry that, innit? Not a worry because he clearly was all right. He wouldn't have risked him because risking him's a really bad idea, and that's not going to end well. No, I can't, Andy. I can't envisage Farke playing Amps, Rothwell, Gruev, Tanaka and Gilavogi on the pitch at the same time. The only chance that could happen is if we have a total crisis and it's Ampadu and Gilavogi at centre-back, Rothwell and Gruev in centre-mid, and then Tanaka going further forward. I'm glad the Tanaka talk that he's going to play in the 10 has stopped. That seems to have died right down because that ain't happening. Enar says Gruev and Firpo got 30 minutes. Yes, we're 2 in on that. 2 people said that he got 30 minutes. Tom and Enar have helped me out there. Appreciate you both, brothers. Tanaka was first. Early seen red. I never saw that challenge. It was too far away from me. You know, I want to speak about the challenge because, and I had to ask this on Joe's show because I'm no statistician or whatever the word statistician. Statistics are not my thing. But well, they're not my thing. I will read them. I just don't really care. Watch football with my eyes, as Luke from Ought to Know Better would say. But it dawned on me when he got, because I thought that's a big challenge, and you knew it were a big challenge. You could tell. Take it easy, Pat. Cheers, dude. You could tell it were a big tackle just in general. Like there's sometimes a bit of a buzz around a big tackle where there's a lot of players like around. You just think, and you could tell he was sort of stretching for it. That it doesn't. It's so rare that I know, but Byron went flying in, and there's obviously the odd random challenge like where, I mean, there were a pretty decent chance against Wednesday when Ampadu had to go flying in and made a good tackle. Again, it's a perfectly timed challenge, but if it wasn't, then it's a potential sending off or whatever. It's very rare that players are like having to fly in. There's nothing last ditch. There's nothing. Everything's so controlled. You know, we're never going to have a problem with players getting sent off or getting pushed too hard. Like, I know my man Bielsa towards the end, it was like everything was all over shot. I think it was when all sending offs. I think were Jesse Marsh for it. When it just became a little bit like, you know, I thought people were chucking it, to be fair, because you can get sent off if you want to get sent off. Ask my big brother. He knows a way out, and it's, you know, getting sent off can sometimes appease some fans where they think they care, and it's like, you're a dickhead. Not that my big brother's a dickhead, but, you know, going flying into a challenge and getting yourself sent off very deliberately, like my man Ayling did. And I can't remember the game. I remember the game. I can't remember who it was against. I can't remember who he did it to, but it were like deep in his own half over in right back area, one here, not really happening, goes flying in. You've just got yourself sent off. I actually took exception to that with Dan James, because when Dan James got sent off, because I just think he got entangled in a big entangled. I sound like Will Smith's missus. It was an entanglement, but Dan James is just pretty full on player. I think, you know. I love Dan James, but anyway, I thought Ayling threw toweling. MVG says Arsenal. The only Arsenal thing I remember is Alioski winding Pepe up. It could have been. There's no reason why it wouldn't be Arsenal, but I just thought he threw toweling. I hate stuff like that. My point is, you know, if somebody's getting sent off in this side when we're in total control all the time, it's on them. There's no need for us to be overstretching. I know Tanaka, you know, is not I've not seen the tackle, but it'd have just been one of them freak tackles, like when Struett really hurt that lad. Again, I can't remember who that were against. It's unimportant to me. But yeah, just a positive of Farke football, just like how in control we are, even out of possession. I said at the start, people are like, we're proper happy to let them have ball for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 minute 10 seconds. It's just like, they're going to do all with it. Like, we're the ones that hold the ball. Like, you can have it for a bit. And you do have to have that. You have to be able to sit in. I actually think, when we do get to Prem, when me and Badger get to Prem, we all go up, being able to sit in will be, might as well get us practicing now, because we'll be having to sit in and be disciplined. But it's so interesting to see how far this side can go. Oh my God, it was Curtis Jones, wasn't it, dude? Yeah, because he were youngster, wasn't he? I mean, he still is, isn't he, Curtis Jones? But that's crazy, because I was not worried about him, not worried about nobody, but he's 23 now, so he'll have been, what will he been? That'll be best part of 3 years ago, 4 years ago, will it? He were young, wasn't he? It's a horrendous injury to get. But yeah, they were nice to each other on there. Or were it Harvey Elliott? Yeah, well, it's same thing. I mean, Harvey Elliott's done well as well, hasn't he? So they've both done all right. But yeah, they were, because he's back. Yeah, he's 21. That's what I mean. He were well young, wasn't he, playing for him? Fucking hell. Injury. Struett dislocated his ankle. I thought he broke his leg, to be fair. Crazy. 2021. I can't believe we're in 2024, boys. 2025 we're in. Fuck. Yeah, really, you'd got me, to be fair, Neil. If previously, if we'd have done this live a year ago, well, whenever, we wouldn't have, nobody would have known. I'd have just gone with that, and I'd have been telling everybody it were. I understand why you thought it was Curtis Jones. Are very similar in terms of. I can't talk. I don't know what about. Badger, been a beaut as always. Cheers, Alfred Tammy. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being a member. Also, I don't know whether they've been whether you've gained that through handing them out like Christmas. And I still don't know how the membership thing works, so I appreciate each and every which one. I appreciate every subscriber, obviously. Commenter, liker. Leeds disciplinary record has been good in red card terms this season and last season. So I was informed, because I didn't think my man Farke had anybody sent off, but I was told that Rodon got 2 yellows last year, which does ring a bell, I think, now when I'm thinking about it, because I remember him being out. He was out and then he couldn't get back in the side, or what do you call it? It's dawned on me now. Cooper came back in and he was cack. And then everybody was calling for Rodon to get him back on the pitch, but my man Farke being the man that he is, did what he always does, and it's like, no, he's got his position like he deserves it, and then Cooper didn't take his chance. So, it was time for Cooper to not be our centre-back, wasn't it? 3 years, Jack, lad. Yeah, Alfred, it's crazy. I don't know. Once they leave, I'll leave with them. They leave my mind. There's something not right with Cody Dramont. I never really understood any of that, but you just never know what's going on, do you, behind the scenes. Just randomly as well, I do want to get this in, because I find this funny. So everybody's on about that Bellingham guy, because I was buzzing about Solomon when he came in. Bang up for it. That Bellingham guy's got 4 goals, and I thought Bellingham was like the next man to be like, follow his brother. Aaronson's got 7, James has got 7, Solomon's got 5. So Solomon's played 12 games, started 12 games. Bellingham's got 4 goals. He's got the same amount of goals as Nonto and Ramazani. And I actually think that's wrong. I think I've got that wrong, because I think Nonto's got 5 goals this season. And I think it's very likely that Ramazani's got 5 as well. No, it's 4 goals, 5 assists. Eggs is eggs, but still my statement stands. So that Job guy that everybody's waxing lyrical about, that's what I mean. I'm up for it. But when people don't watch the other teams, as I don't, I only watch Leeds and Premier League. So I'm not watching Bellingham every single week, but I don't buy into the hype just because he's got a couple of goals and, he's maybe done well at one point in somebody's life and he's, gone on a night out round fucking Sunderland and banged somebody's bird or something and he's the best thing since sliced bread because you didn't like the guy that banged his bird off or whatever and ended up on OnlyFans. But he's got 4 goals and, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Bellingham's brother meant be the next, I thought, is he not playing in the 10? Let's have a look. 4 goals in 25 matches, 3 assists. This is not a knocking of him. I couldn't care less. But he's played plenty. He's got no goals. Oh, he's got some goals. And the 4th in Championship, we can't pretend he's not in a decent side. See where he's lining up here. And it's got him playing 2 up top here. I don't care. That lufc getting dragged off. Gets up. Joe Bellingham. Bellingham were full form 6 months ago for Madrid. I'm not on about Jude. I'm on about Job. To be fair, you could get away with that. Maybe that's what's that. Maybe they've increased each other's value because they're identical. Take it easy, Alfred. I would love to see that, Tom. I would love to see that. I think his half-time team talks will be ace, Dan James get a red card 1 or 2 seasons back. Now then. I remember Dan James getting sent off, as I just spoke about, when we were going down and he nailed someone, didn't he? But I can't remember him getting sent off for. He's only had 1 red card in his career. Oh shit! No, hang on, that might be just Premier League. I'm struggling here. Don't know. I don't think he's been sent off in the Championship. I know he obviously got sent off when we went down. But I just thought that were an anomaly. It's something I'm going to actually do. I'll do a bit of a shit vid about that next week, I reckon, because we'll get something sorted with that. I'm fucking red hot, guys. Right, boys. I'll finish this for you, actually, and then we'll move on. I'm going to do one. Be interesting to see if my man Farke gets in on Monday. I think he'd probably stick with Byron for the time being. I don't think Farke will be fully ready. And I've got no problem with Byron. Bogle's the man at the moment. Aaronson, James, Solomon, been so mint front line. Nonto needs to pick up a goal. Sorry, not Nonto. Peral needs to pick up a goal. Or, he's got Bamford on his back in the next 2 weeks. Pascal back soon. I feared for worse with Pascal. I thought it'd be a longer injury than it is. Because I thought when they mentioned it could be like 10 weeks or whatever, I thought probably more likely to be 10 weeks than it is 3 or whatever. Some signs are coming in this week. I'm almost convinced of it. I would go as far to say if Burnley was the home game, I think we'd have had some unveiling on Monday, when they come out and give it big waves and that. I'd have gone that far. I thought if it had been a home game on Monday, we'd have had some wanderers, we'd have had some people coming out. Talking about this Ollie Tanner guy out there from Cardiff. Something's going to happen in next week, boys. We are signing. I still don't think there's going to be many coming in, but there's definitely one player coming into this club before I end it. I didn't realise as well. Found out tonight it closes on 3rd for some reason, not the 31st. So Not that matters, because you've got to get them done when you've got to get them done, but, you know, it's 3 extra days or 2 extra days, you know. Every little helps, bing, bing, as you all know. But right, guys, I'm going to sign out. So it's quite a hectic week, but I am going to get some guests on. I'm hoping I can get my man Joe on. I'm going to try and force my brothers to actually pick the balls up and come on here with me, and so you can meet my brothers. And then, to be fair, if any of you boys want to jump on, but I need to get it sorted first. I'll happily have a chat with you, which I might do on like a Tuesday if I get a guest on. And then the Thursdays will just be a few beers and some bullshit talk, but we will keep going. I'll upload a bullshit video tomorrow. I've also, on my JackCity page, guys, I'd appreciate it if you just subscribe, even if you don't give a shit about my music. I think the link's in the bio, but if you could sign up to that, because I'm going to be putting out videos relentlessly. I'm going to do a beat a day. So I get too precious about stuff, and then I think, oh, this is shit or whatever. But if I just start putting it out, then my head goes, and I'm like, right, I just don't stop putting stuff out then. And I'm like, I go from I did a Freestyle Friday thing must be about 6 years ago now, and I did a freestyle every day. Every week. I did one freestyle a week, like video. I don't know how many weeks I got to, but I think I stopped at 24 weeks or something, just because I stopped, but which is quite hard for me to do, because it's the worst thing. I've got so many tracks that are just sat, and it's like, so any beat, anyway, basically what I'm saying is I'll be making a beat a day, and it's not just about the music, so, you know, I'm chatting plenty of shit and that. There won't be much Leeds talk, but there'll be plenty of shit talk, so I'd appreciate it if you'd sign up to, or just subscribe or whatever, to my JackCity page. If you type in JackCity Games, it'll pop up. I'm sure a lot of you have anyway, because you're all top blokes. But take it easy, Jamie. Take it easy, Tom. Take it easy, Andy. Take it easy, Alfred. Take it easy, Ina. Take it easy, everybody. Take it easy, Jamie. Cheers for handing them memberships out like it's Christmas. Santa Claus dropping lines. Pat Dunn, I know you've gone, but take it easy. Ming, I'll never forget Ming. There's not a comment here yet from Ming that I'm scrolling up, but shout out to Ming, who hangs them out like Christmas also. Cheers, Ina. Cheers for always tuning in, man. Honestly, I can't tell you, it's crazy to me that people sit and watch this bollocks, but I do enjoy doing it, and if everybody stops watching, I'll stop doing it. So I appreciate you. But yeah, take it easy, everybody. If anybody's about as well for game and all, do let me know, because I've had a couple of comments saying, oh, I saw you the other day, whatever. It's like, I'll give us a shout, man. Like, do you know what I mean? Let's, you know, get to White Hart for a quick bevy, or, you know, we don't have to booze either. We can just, like, we have a quick chat. It doesn't have to be a chat, do you know what I mean? Just let's say hello. Just be like, I've got to get, oh yeah, take it easy, man. Do you know what I mean? So Ming's still in, never leaves. What a ledge. Ming's the man. Neil Skepper, take it easy, dude. Thanks for tuning in. The legendary MVG is legendary, no doubt about it. 78 RPM. My guy. Jamie Tobin, you got skills, but I appreciate you, dude. Charles Sampson, yeah. Cheers also for tuning in, but yeah, that what it was on about with pitch, just had a bit of overuse. Cheers, Ina. Honestly, man, I do appreciate it. I really do. It's just mad to me. I think, to be fair, if I get Joe on and stuff on a Tuesday, and I think I'll do like Tuesday, Thursday, if I can convince my brothers to come on, because I don't, you know, I want the channel to stay as it is. I don't just want to get I would get you guys on. Linda, that seems like a new name. Nighty night, take it easy. I want the channel to stay the same though, do you know what I mean? I want it to be like my mates, like I mean that inclusive of you guys. So you can come jump on with me for a live. Jamie Tobin, cheers, dude. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking shit now. But yeah, we'll see you live in the flesh, unless you're about on Monday for the Thursday game. I'll be on Joe's show, I would imagine, on Tuesday for the final word. Unless I've overstepped my mark and I'm not going to get asked anymore. I might have upset him, who knows? I doubt it. Take it easy. Don't have to end these things. Here we go again. I'll just hold the pose. Fucking say it a bit.